Get in, loser. We're going to the internet.
Good evening, everybody. I am Dadbod. Tonight, something really interesting happened early this morning. The D-sides are regarded as some of the hardest challenges that the Celeste modding scene has to offer, Chapter 7D easily being the hardest and to date the longest. Now, I've seen some people get pretty crazy. I've seen golden runs of some of the early D-sides, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, even Chapter 3. A couple people doing 4, 5, and 6, but really not many. But I never thought that we would see someone get gold in 7D only because, honestly, it's huge and it's really hard. This morning, I was proven very wrong. For those of you who saw my playthrough of 7D, it took me 28 hours and 8,500 deaths. Tonight, I am joined by the very person who did what I can call right now the hardest thing you can do in Celeste until 90 golden when. Eenox is a streamer and a content creator on the west coast of the United States. You can catch him on his Twitch streams late into the night taking up challenges most would find impossible, few would find fun, but all would find entertaining. He was the second person to get the Chapter 9 Golden Strawberry and the first to get the Chapter 9 Gold and Moonberry in one run. He is currently the only person on the planet, nay, the entire universe, to collect the Golden Strawberry in Chapter 7D. Eenox, how are you?
I'm doing incredible, as one can imagine.
Right. So the first question, it's on everybody's mind. What the hell is wrong with you?
I can't get enough of challenges, man. I'm a challenge junkie. No challenge is ever enough. I just keep wanting more, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I love the exhilaration that it gives me. And I certainly got that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yo, in a map where you literally expect to die in every single room, possibly hundreds of times, how do you prepare for this? Like mentally, physically, how do you do it?
Well, going in, when I first started the practice, I wasn't really thinking of attempts. You kind of have to segment it off. So I just went in checkpoint by checkpoint, strat finds, find out, like, do each screen, a few times in a row, then go to the next screen, find the best strat that I can find, do it a few times in a row again, and then, do a whole checkpoint, and then do the whole checkpoint deathless, and then move on to the next checkpoint. That is what I did. So I had a very systematic, I think, efficient way of going about it at first. It took me 4 days to do each checkpoint individually deathless, and obviously 3,000 meters is like a third of the entire chapter. So that was, in and of itself, that is really hard to do 3,000 meters deathless.
Right. Yo, when did you decide that you were going to go after 7D Golden? I mean, did Chapter 9 Golden just get too easy or what?
So on the first day of the year, first day of the decade, I saw a video by, I don't remember exactly his name, but I know it's like a chemical compound that translates to dimethyl mercury. I saw a video of his that was 7D in 12 deaths, and that that was brought to my attention that someone did that, because I was kind of, after Chapter 9, I was just burnt out from Celeste. Like, I did so much extra. I needed a break, so moved on to other games. And then a friend of mine brought it to my attention, and I had toyed with the idea of trying to go for 7D previously, but I just didn't see a real purpose because it was so hard and it was custom content, so I wasn't sure if people would care about it as much, as like official content, because not everyone who's played Celeste even knows of the modding community or what the D-sides are. So I'm like, I didn't think it was worth it or something. And that was like a year before I decided to actually do it. But like, I knew, and I looked at the community and I saw that there was hype surrounding it, and it was not just this one guy, but multiple people who said they were going for it and practicing for it, and that just stirred me into action immediately. I dropped everything, and I knew I wanted to do it.
Nice. That's great. So how long did you think that this was going to take you to conquer?
I predicted actually about a month, to be honest, and that it took a little bit over a month. I didn't know how frequently I was going to play. It turned out I played about, I want to say, like 3 hours average every day. Sometimes I played under 3 hours. Sometimes I played like 8 hours. It just depended on my motivation levels. I definitely started a little bit of a burnout towards the tail end,
Mm-hmm.
even though I was close. It just like it's pretty soul crushing to just go over and over again on the same thing, and especially die instantly, like practically over and over for a few hours and get nowhere. That just like whenever that happened, I just stopped. I'd play longer if I was playing well.
Right.
It almost seemed like luck how I was going to play on any given day.
Yeah. I watched you a ton on stream. It was crazy though, like just watching you, like you had some speed strats in there. Like I normally play it super safe, but you were cruising. The final time, 21 minutes and 57 seconds. Like that's crazy. Like I just like you're gonna have to explain that to me because I play extremely cautious, especially when I'm doing this. Like I don't want to die, and you almost seem so carefree. There were only a few times that I saw that you were probably like, "Oh crap!" Like I almost just bit the dust right there. What are your what do you have to say about that?
Well, I didn't think. I mean, in my opinion, I didn't think I was playing. It didn't seem like I was playing that fast. I mean, the muscle memory was so strong that you kind of just have to let it take over. And I'm definitely a more aggressive player, I guess, in general. Like when I have strong muscle memory, I'll just do it, even if it's like supposed to be like a safe strat. I'll do it as fast as I can do safely, and that might look kind of fast. But honestly, with the D sides, you can't really play like very casually looking. When you clear a screen, it looks pretty
Right.
epic whenever you clear it. So it's like to do it all fluidly. I guess that appears fast. But obviously it could be done faster. And yeah, the final time I believe is the current world record actually for the chapter as well, for the time.
It most certainly is.
I've even paused for like 20 seconds before flag 2 because that was my previous PB. I like took several deep breaths, and at that point you just can't you can't imagine how nervous a person would be. The first time I got to flag 2,
Oh,
I felt physically sick. I like felt nauseous, and ultimately, I didn't even care when I died because I just did not like the way my body was feeling because the pressure was so immense. I knew I was streaming and all these people were watching, and if I die, everyone's disappointed, and I'm like, no one's ever gotten this far.
yeah. I
And it's
yeah,
ugh.
I was watching that and literally like I knew this was a perfect run and I was sweating. I was so nervous just watching you do all of this. Like as soon as I saw flag 2, I was just thinking back to the probably 1,000 deaths that I had on flag 2 and I know that a lot of people who have beaten chapter 7D have also been super stressed out with that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
easily the hardest part. There's a couple flags that will just haunt my memories forever. So,
Yeah.
all right, so flag 2 is done. Flag 1, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You're in the cassette room. It's a long room. There are a ton of places that you can have really stupid deaths. Take me home.
Oh, I it's crazy because you'd think that you'd be super dialed into the moment in like a meditative state, but I believe Lenny said it best, like with chapter 9 golden. It's like you're not thinking of anything, and it's not even like you're trying to not think of anything. You literally, my body was so tingly. I felt like I was in some dissociative state, but I knew I had to like, I think I had to like fool myself, like that it wasn't. I had to play as if it wasn't real. I had to ignore that golden berry on the screen. I had to block everything out. I just had to do what I knew how to do. And I felt that feeling once before where it's like you feel like you're tingling and like almost like a fiery thing.
Mhm.
It's when I did any percent deathless, that was like my first like that was like my magnum opus achievement in The End Is Nigh, another platformer. And like it's really hard challenge. I wouldn't say hard as this, but I like towards the end in those final moments, I I remember the feeling in your hands, like down your entire body, you're tingling. You shouldn't even be able to play. You'd think it would be distracting,
Right.
but you're able to power through it, and it's like it's almost as if you're on fire because you're like on fire in the game, and it's like you can't. It's like you can't. I've never failed. Whenever I felt that feeling, I have never messed up. So
That's
like
awesome.
I
So,
yeah
so I gotta be totally honest with you. When I watched this, I watched the ending
yeah
probably 5 or 6 times, and I literally, I shed tears like just watching you do this. Like, tell me about like anyone who's already watched this video, like the amount of raw emotion that came out in that very moment was overwhelming, and I just want you to tell me like what was going through your head.
I so those last few days were some of the toughest in the grind. I had gotten my flag 2 PB, and it was pretty disappointing. Everyone was telling me how they were so, like they were so impressed and they were so happy, but I feel like I was the only person who felt like it was garbage. Like I actually, it just my mind is just being so mean. Like obviously, objectively, great achievement, but it's not my goal to to fall short so close to the end of this goal that you've put so much time and emotion and energy into. It just, I don't think that can be satisfying to anybody. And after that, I had 3 straight days, like 9 hours of game time where I was just getting nowhere. I was so hopeless. I cannot begin to describe. Like I thought this was gonna take like another month or something somehow because of how poorly I was playing. Like just on stream, I was getting really salty. I was just really feeding into that all the negative emotion and just letting it control me. And it, I knew that I thought I considered taking a break for a bit. But I know me, and I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to. So I intended to take a break of at least a day. I wasn't going to stream, and that I kind of did. I didn't stream, but I couldn't help myself. I loaded up the game and I started local recording on OBS, and I just wanted to have. I mean, at the time, wasn't thinking about it, but I wanted to have a better mindset. I didn't want to be so negative every time I die, like scrutinize every little mistake. Because I mean, you can't be perfect. Like as much as my ego wants to tell me that I'm, a perfect player and shouldn't make a mistake, it's like you're gonna make a stupid mistake. You're gonna do something really dumb because our brains are just not meant to be meant to handle, quite frankly, that level of perfection. They're not
Right.
really geared for it. But it was I didn't think that I was going to do it off stream. I was more so just trying to make sure that I didn't get rusty.
Right.
But somehow in that one session of offline attempts, I really didn't it made it even more surreal in the moment because I really thought and imagined that I was going to get it on stream. But I'm almost glad that it wasn't because I guess it could be seen as like I'm the ending, especially because it could be seen as I'm playing it up, to like getting all emotional for the viewers, for the whatever. But it was me in my room by myself, and I did the hardest thing that I've ever done, and it was the relief that I felt cannot be described because it had just been such a mental tax on me for so long. Every time I was away from the computer, I was thinking about it. Even when I was playing, I was thinking about how it like wasn't going right. It was just oh. So when I finally got it, I actually it was more than a dream. It really didn't feel like real life at all, but it was.
That's
And
awesome.
I I didn't know if I was gonna cry. I didn't feel like it just came out. Like, I cried really hard for some reason. Even I don't quite understand all the reasons as to why, but just that relief, man, was so worth it.
Yo, I mean, I would have. I've like I said, I did, and I didn't even do anything. I just watched you do it.
I've rewatched it myself a few times, and I get teary eyed every time I watch it. This is definitely my favorite challenge that I've done. The reaction is probably my favorite as well. I love this video, and I'm so proud of myself for doing this, because I'm glad I can share this with other people.
Yeah,
and that they can feel that too.
Boom. Well, wrapping this up, quick last few questions. What's on my mind is, what could you possibly do next in this game that tops this? I mean, 90 golden cough.
I know people would like me to continue to do, maybe like finish all the D-side golden strawberries or something like that, but to be honest, I don't feel a huge drive to do that, and especially because, as you mentioned, 9D golden, if I got all of the other D-side golden strawberries, I'd feel a lot more obligated to go for that. And from what I hear about that would be like, I'm gonna say in the ballpark of like a 500-hour grinds, where you can't similar, and I'd have to go as hard as I did, like if not harder, like consistent. I mean, like consistent time wise, playing every day for several hours.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm not going to go for that.
Yeah.
That can be for somebody else. I'm more than happy with this.
You know that Name Guy is just like, he's designing this to make sure nobody ever gets golden ever.
I hope he just includes an unavoidable death somewhere. Yeah. The golden's impossible.
Just to make sure the golden is impossible. All right, wrapping this up, Eenox, anything you want to tell the people listening at home?
You truly can do whatever you set your mind to. Like, just please never give up on whatever it is that you're passionate about and whatever you want to do. And you need to be okay. What I learned is that you need to be okay with failing, but not just that. You need to be okay with failing more times and for a longer duration than anybody else. And once you reach that point, you need to keep going. Just never quit. And even if you're borderline helpless, as I have been in so many situations, I believe we all have it in us to keep going, because I thought I ran out of gas on this thing in those last few days, and I don't know what kept me going, but something did. And the success that you've dreamt of might be sooner than you think it is.
That's awesome. Love it. Very inspirational. All right, guys, that is all for tonight. I have left a link to the Golden Run video in the description below. And for those of you who do not know Eenox, I've also left a link to his Twitch and Twitter. Be sure to drop him a follow. It's always a good time on his streams. I want to take this time once again to say congratulations on this crazy accomplishment. And thank you, Eenox, for taking time out of your night to come hang out with me.
Of course.
All right, man. Have a good night.